The presenter of the second session is from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Korea. Let me introduce the second secretary, Jae Hyuk. So,
my name is Jae Hyuk. I'm Korean. My English name is Jae Hyuk Jung. It's easy to call, so just feel free to call me Jay if you have a question during my presentation. I think I'm honored to be here, and it's very interesting to see the great mixture. The current mixture of the people. I could not expect it before I came here. Okay, and let me know if you cannot hear. I'm sorry, that's logistics. Okay, he said I should be here, around here, to be recorded from the video. Okay, so yeah, can I hear my voice? Please raise your hand so that I can speak louder. Actually, generally, I have this kind of lecture. Maybe I just use 3 hours to talk about only about Paris Agreement, and another 3 hours to talk about the Paris rulebook we call Katowice climate package. So I think at least we need 6 hours to actually digest all the contents of the Paris Agreement and the Katowice climate package. But I think I only have 50 minutes today, so maybe I think I have to skip a few slides today. But if you really want to ask something about my slides during my presentation, just stop me, because I think it's better to stop and answer to your question as I move on to the next slide. So, okay, let's measure. So today I'm going to talk about climate change negotiation. I think you will be the negotiators, right? You will represent maybe one of the countries which are parties to the UNFCCC, right? And is that decided which country you are going to represent? No, not yet. Okay, so maybe the party groupings will help you to select the country you want to represent. Okay. So today I have 4 parts here. First, I'm going to talk about a little bit about pre-Paris regime, which is the UNFCCC. And then I move on to the Paris Agreement. I'm not going to talk about Kyoto Protocol because of the time first, and then because you will live your life in the Paris Agreement era or regime from 2020. So it's going to be your international law to be affected to affect your life. So I think it's better to understand the Paris Agreement, and then I'm going to just share the link of the Katowice rulebook or Paris rulebook so that you can maybe just read some of the materials that we adopted at the Poland, in Poland. And the next one is just way 4, and I just want to just give some of the information, very important information that you want to maybe have to prepare your negotiation in a few weeks. So first, prepare. So does anyone know who actually mentioned about this global warming effect in the world? There was like I don't know, I just Googled it. So there's like a Dr. James Hansen at NASA, and he had a sort of like a testimony in 1988 in US. And he said something about, scientifically, he found out there is like a global warming effect in the world. And that it is just recognized that this is maybe the first intervention about this climate change effect in the world. And then after that, we had this very famous IPCC reports, and these reports actually published every 4 or 5 years, every 6 years from 1990. So in 1988, there's like a testimony of the Dr. Hansen in US, and then the scientists in participating in this intergovernmental panel on climate change, they are not paid. This is a voluntary approach, so they are just, based on their enthusiasm and the passion, they contribute themselves to actually write up this report. And 2 years after, there was a first IPCC assessment report in 1990. So the report consists of 3 parts. First is scientific effect about this climate change. Second is mitigation, and third is risk vulnerability and adaptation. So there are 3 parts. So every 5 years or 6 years, we have these reports, and the 6 assessment reports will come out soon in the world. So maybe these, if you are interested, it's very important to read this IPCC report. And if you don't have enough time, just dive into the 5th assessment report. And then, the 6th AR will come out in 2022. And this is the UNFCCC document, real document. I don't know whether you already have read this, but this is really important thing. And the most important part is definitely the objective part, Article 2. So specifically, we can see there's wording about stabilization of greenhouse gas concentrations in the atmosphere at a level that will prevent dangerous anthropogenic interference with the climate system. So in 1992, which was like already 30 years ago, am I right? 30 years ago. So the scientists, maybe politicians and diplomats, economists, they actually were aware of this climate change issue at the global level. Then what do you think? After this, like 30 years, can you see there's some improvement about our effort to respond to climate change? No? As a young generation, no? Okay, but maybe you cannot satisfy with our efforts in the previous years. But definitely there were some improvements or efforts, and that's why we now have this Paris Agreement. So in 1992, we agreed on this UNFCCC, but at that time there's Annex 1 and Annex 1, sort of like a classification of the parties, and we recognize that Annex 1 is sort of like easily we say developed country parties, and non-Annex 1, we call them non-Annex 1 parties, developing country parties. So maybe I think most of you are from Korea. Do you think Korea is developed country or developing country? Which country? Developing country. And any other different opinion?
About difficult WTO Korea was a sign.
Agriculture. Okay, when we actually joined the OECD countries, there are 2 exceptions. First one was this agriculture WTO agreement, and the other was climate change. So at that time, we were under non-Annex 1 parties. So one of these around 150 developing countries at that time. Because of the political reason, it's very, very difficult. So it cannot be scientific dialogue. This is just about the political dialogue. But this is very difficult to change this annex system. So at the time, we agreed on Annex 1 and non-Annex 1. So still, there are 43 Annex 1 parties to the convention. But those 43 countries only had the reduction target. Which means, at the time, all the other large emitters from developing countries, they did not receive any obligation. So, after these 3 years, it became a problem. Because they emit a lot of, greenhouse gases, but they don't have obligation. That's why Paris Agreement, is adopted. And I will explain more later. So this is just, history of this COP meeting that you are going to, have this model negotiation. And there were some important, significant COP in our history. First one is definitely COP1, and at the time, Merkel, Merkel, the leader of Germany, she actually was the environment minister at the time. And now she's the leader of Germany, right? That's why Germany is so active about responding to climate change, and they really want to spread this green to other countries currently. And she's actually a scientist. This is the name of the thesis for the PhD she received at the university. Does anyone understand what this is really about? But she's a scientist. That's why she's so into this climate change response, maybe. And COP3 was the Kyoto Protocol, right? So in 1997, we adopted this Kyoto Protocol. And does anyone have some knowledge about this Copenhagen Cup? No? Nobody? So in 2015, we agreed on this universal participation agreement we call Paris Agreement in 2015. But actually there was an attempt to have this sort of like an international agreement which actually invites not only Annex 1 but also non-Annex 1, those 150 parties, to actually receive some GHG reduction obligations according to the agreement. That was actually Copenhagen. At the very last minute, we were likely to have this Copenhagen maybe agreement if we were successful at the time, but there was like a country, Bolivia, or I don't know, one of the Latin American country, actually finally at the last minute, she made an intervention that she could not agree on some part of this Copenhagen decision. That's why we actually failed to have this universal international agreement at the time in Copenhagen. And that's why maybe these last 6 years we have to, made a lot of effort again to have this Paris Agreement. And based on this is just European Union, one of the European Union's greenhouse gas statistics website. You can just Google it if you want to visit there. And according to their data, Annex 1 party, including US and from Germany or UK, the share is 42%, around 43%. So before Paris, less than 0.5%, of the whole country just received the greenhouse gas reduction obligation. But now, 57% of the greenhouse gases emitted in the world, they are now regulated. We can understand it like that. And among those 57%, 23% is emitted by just one country. Can you name the country? China. So 1/4. So if we cannot, maybe ask, I will use this word, ask China to reduce greenhouse gases, it's very difficult to achieve all of the Paris Agreement. And 11.8%. Which country is this? US. So if you add those two numbers, it's huge, right? So that's why we cannot, achieve our goal without China, number 1 country, and number 2, US, in terms of greenhouse gas emission goal. And in 2011, so after 2 years after Copenhagen, the parties are gathered in one COP. It was, if I remember correctly, Durban in South Africa. They started to discussing about whether we should try to have this international agreement, again. So they start new negotiation. That's at the time we created one ad hoc committee or group to have this kind of negotiation. We call that ad hoc working group on the Dublin platform for enhanced action. And at the time, we expect to have a protocol, something like your protocol, or another legal instrument, or an agreed outcome with legal force. So that was our purpose, to start this ad hoc working group. And then they expect to have this sort of like agreement. Now this is Paris Agreement at the 21st session of the COP. That's the COP held in 2015 in France, Paris. And that agreement will come into effect to be implemented from 2020. And it's actually realized when we adopt the Paris Agreement. And lastly, the important thing is that agreement or protocol or the document should include not only mitigation and support, because according to the UNFCCC, the Fundamental Convention, they are really talking about just mitigation and also financial support to the developing countries. So one big chunk of the agreement is really about the greenhouse gas reduction, and the other part is about the support provided for the developing country parties to help them, reduce greenhouse gases. But in Paris Agreement, at that time, the parties want to include mitigation and adaptation to climate change, and we call these three things, is finance, technology development, transfer, and capacity building. We call these three as means of implementation, MOI. And this is the transparency, which actually we call the backbone of the Paris Agreement. And this is, in easy way, we can think this as international reporting and review system. That's transparency system. I'm gonna just skip this. I think internet, we can access to the internet, right? But maybe just considering time, I can just explain. Have you ever heard of this INDC, notion of INDC? Nobody? Just one. Two? Yeah, you can be confident. Only two. Oh my God. Okay, just wait a sec. So, Fred, INDC is a document which includes the national target. So, before you become, or before you represent one of the country, one of the parties to the Paris Agreement, I think you better, download the INDC of your country. Okay? So if you are going to represent maybe Republic of Korea, then please access to that website and download the Republic of Korea's INDC. Because it's just basic thing to understand the party's position. It includes how much greenhouse gases they will reduce, and also what kind of adaptation activities they will take. And unfortunately, for those advanced countries, the developed countries, they did not actually include the financial, contribution in that document. But maybe, and then you need to find the other documents to understand the financial contribution, because mitigation and financial support are the two key factors, issues you need to talk about during the negotiation. That's actually two key issues. How much are you going to reduce, and how much are you going to pay for it? The support for us. So please access to this INDC. And then, before I move on, do you know the Republic of Korea's reduction target? national greenhouse gas reduction target? Anyone? Those two students who actually raised the hand, and you knew about this INDC. Do you know our country's reduction target?
I cannot remember it
Yeah?
exactly, but
Yeah?
I remember it was like really ambitious.
Really ambitious, okay. So there are just some type of targets, but we use projected level, we call it BAU, business as usual. So our country will reduce our greenhouse gases at a rate of 37% from the projected level of the emission by 2030. So just simply, we have 37% reduction target by 2030. That's Korea. But all the other countries, they have different targets, so you need to find them out. And different type of mitigation target. Something like BAU type target, and absolute type target. Absolute type target is using the base year concept. So maybe based on compared to the 1990 level of greenhouse gases emission level, we are going to reduce some amount of percentage by 2030 or by 2035. It's very important to have that kind of knowledge before you go on the negotiation among yourselves. Okay, right. And this is party groupings. Okay, so maybe some students here, you are interested in more like a mitigation, because you think maybe mitigation is the critical, most significant, thing we need to talk about. We need more pressure on that. But maybe the other, students, they want to maybe focus on adaptation, vulnerability of those island countries, or if you're interested in finance, then you can maybe be part of this developed country group. So maybe this is the maybe important information for you as a negotiators. So here, so I borrowed this, graph, the diagram, from one of my colleagues, a colleague and I participated in the meeting 2 weeks ago in Lebanon. He actually used this party grouping slide, so I just borrowed this. That's why he just made a red box on LMDC and our group, because he's from Iran. But ignore that, okay? So Korea here. So Korea, Mexico, Georgia, Switzerland, Liechtenstein, Monaco, and this is the EIG group. This is sort of like a very group in the middle, actually. So I will explain in a more simple way. So on the right-hand side, those EU guys with CIS, this is really, maybe we can recognize this as EU, including EIT countries, Belarus, and this is umbrella group, and we have this European Union regional representative system. So actually these two are representing the argument from the developed country part. So they are really pushing developing country parties to reduce more greenhouse gas emission, but they do not really want to provide more financial support by using, by participating in this negotiation. So more greenhouse gas reduction, but less financial contribution. This is their maybe strategy. You can just simply understand. And this side, G77 China. This is very, I think more than 100 countries are part of this G77 China. So when they speak during the negotiation, it's really, really influential. So maybe someone here who is representing this G77, you need to be very careful, but before you make an intervention, you need to have a lot of consultations with other countries who are also part of this G77. Okay, you have to keep that in mind. And island countries, they are from Latin America, Costa Rica, Chile, those countries. But they are actually quite supportive for this European Union's climate change policy. So they are very friendly to this developed countryside argument. LMDC and our group and OPEC, those OPEC countries, they hate this climate change negotiation. Yeah, they want to postpone the discussion, they want to make some delays in our negotiation because they are currently, enjoy their economic growth based on the fossil fuel industry. That's why, okay? So that's just, I'm just talking about the basic position of those parties. So don't misunderstand it's everybody's, position in their countries, okay? This is just a political, international level, this basic position. So keep in mind if you're a representative of this, like Saudi Arabia, or Egypt or Iran, please keep that in mind. When you participate in this negotiation, you need to you need to think about the benefit of delaying the negotiation or receiving more financial support from the developed country parties, because you need some time to make a transition, right? And in the future, you will have less gain from the oil export. So that kind of things you need to keep that in mind. And LDCs and African group LCs, they are just very vulnerable country to this climate change. So their basic strategy is to have more financial support from the developed country parties, and they are always very aggressive about this, about achieving our goal of the Paris Agreement, because they're always saying maybe in a few years, because of the sea rise, sea level rise, maybe we will lose a lot of, maybe some part of our land, so we are threatened. So that's very basic approach from those seasoned, LDCs in African poor countries. So LDCs, in LDCs, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, it's a very weak country in terms of economic development. And these countries, those are the island countries. Fiji, Marshall Island, and what else? Maldives. And African country, they are more interested in about the adaptation. But it's quite interesting. If you are representing one of African countries, maybe you will download the INDC of maybe Ghana or South Africa, Sudan, something like that. So you will find the absolute type target from their INDC, which means although they are developing countries and they need to use BAU because they need to emit more emissions to have more energy in the future, to have clean water, to have more food, and more cars and more clothing. So that's why many developing country parties use BAU type of approach. Actually, they will emit more emissions compared to the baseline scenario, but they are going to reduce some percentage. But interestingly, if you are representing the African countries, you will find absolute type target. And I just had an informal discussion with the African negotiators why you have this kind of very awkward type of target, which cannot actually reflect the national circumstances of many African countries. And they say the high-level discussion or those people who did not actually have very good understanding about this greenhouse gas reduction at that time. That's why, although they emit very small portion of global greenhouse gas emission, but they use this basier absolute type target to reduce the greenhouse gas emission. It's absolutely it doesn't make sense. They need to emit more in the future. So just keep that in mind. Okay, and this is just a summary or one snapshot of what I have just explained with the diagram. So mitigation side, EU, ILA, UG guys, those negotiators are more for the mitigation, and those countries are for adaptation and support. Oh, okay. But maybe you can have this slide, so you don't need to take a picture. And you have a question, please stop me, okay? If you have any questions, yeah.
Correlation between adaptation and mitigation.
Adaptation mitigation. That, yeah, correlation, that's quite a statistical word, if I understand correctly, but there's a relationship between adaptation and mitigation. But that notion, I think the only country stretching out is Saudi Arabia. So they always say, if you conduct the mitigation activity, you can also have some benefit from the adaptation, or the other way around, if you conduct some adaptation activities, you may have also co-benefit from the mitigation. So, but it's very difficult to understand, and I don't know how many other countries can understand the notion of the Saudi Arabia's argument. But to my understanding, it's quite different. That's why maybe IPCC report, they also have three different types of reports in their whole assessment. So mitigation is just about the greenhouse gas reduction, but adaptation is more about how to establish dam right next to the sea, or how you can, because of the maybe there will be different type of agricultural products in the future because of the climate change or temperature change. So that means the people who actually live based on the farming in that area need to maybe learn different methodology to actually yield different type of agricultural products, right? So you need more budget, or you need other approaches, alternative education for those farmers. So that's more about the adaptation. Yeah.
In the treaty, all the agreements are based on a good faith, or there would be consequences if somebody suddenly just, because like the US pulled out, so if somebody is there and they don't do what they said they would.
That's a very good question. And because of this President Trump, we are in a very difficult situation, because just last week, actually yesterday night, I arrived from China. We had this regular Korea-China bilateral meeting, and this year we went to China to have discussion. And actually, China is very angry about U.S. And the chief negotiator thinks that U.S. always push a lot to China to make this common agreement at international level, but they just walk away. After we spend a lot of time to make this agreement, and now they say, maybe somebody saw news a couple of weeks ago, Trump really announced that they are going to submit the written intent, the document, to the United Nations Secretary that they are going to withdraw the Paris Agreement next year. Yeah. So that's a big problem. Without U.S., China, as I explained, it's very difficult to achieve.
Would there be consequences for the countries in the part or in the agreement if they don't achieve the goals that they have promised to achieve?
Yeah, in good faith, because we agreed, and from Korean perspective, because we made a promise or pledge to the international society. So, but even if just one country, I am U.S. as superpower, number one country, and just number two emission level in the world. But we need to implement this Paris Agreement. It's about the promise, right? And that's why Macron and Merkel, they are really, they don't want to lose this momentum because of the Trump. Because Trump, the president of the U.S. maybe can be changed. I'm not sure, but in 2020, November, there will be election, U.S. presidential election, and we have chance. What chance? According to the agreement in the Paris Agreement, the withdrawal procedure, so U.S. can officially withdraw Paris Agreement on November the 4th, 2020. But the next presidential, the election is 2020, November the 3rd. So we have 1 day left if there is the other president can be selected, okay? So let's just see. Let's wait. Okay, so maybe because of time, I can just move on. So we have these unilateral bodies And you definitely understand this COP, Conference of the Parties, right? And this is for the environmental triple-C. And CMP, this is about, this is the final decision-making body for the protocol. And this is CMA, this is the final decision-making body for Paris Agreement. And ADP is the, as I explained, the ad hoc working group to negotiate for this Paris Agreement, to adopt the Paris Agreement. And this APA is between the Paris Agreement and Katowice climate package. There was also ad hoc working group to talk about the Paris rule, more specific rule after we adopted the Paris Agreement. Because Paris Agreement, just for your information, we can just recognize it as a constitutional rule, and maybe this Paris rule is enforcement law, so more specific. Okay, and this is permanent body, very popular body, SBSTA and SBI, SBSTA subsidiary body for scientific and technological advice. So parties are invited to talk about this type of scientific issues. And SBI is subsidiary body for implementation. So parties are invited to talk about more about the implementation, something like transparency, reporting, and having review, that kind of thing. Okay, I think I need to speed up. So you can check the status of ratification. More than 180 parties ratified. And this is the skeleton or the structure of the Paris Agreement. So there are two actions, mitigation and adaptation. So 453, mitigation, this is about the sink, the forestry sector. And Article 6 about the, I don't know whether you have heard of it, but this is really about the international market mechanism, the emission trade, international emission trading scheme, or offset credits. And from Article 9 to 12, but more importantly, Article 9 to 11, this is about the MOI, means of implementation. And this is really, really important clause, the articles for developing country parties. So if you will represent the developing country party, or developing country party, you need to really read very carefully from Article 9 to 11. So that you need to find your own methods by using, based on those articles. And Article 13, as I explained, this is backbone of the Paris Agreement, and it's really about the reporting and review. And 14, Pan Ki-moon, the former UN Secretary, before he just resigned and retired, he just mentioned that the GST, we call in short, GST will be the most important article in the world because this is like an international macro level review system. So every 5 years, we are going to have this GST, just checking where we are and where we need to go and how. So this is GST, okay? And from this is very administrative, article, which always, included in general international treaties or agreement. Okay, let's move on. So I have this mitigation entrance framework, information, but I think I need to skip just the specific contents about this mitigation and transparency framework. You heard through the mic? Okay, and this is also the different way of looking at the Paris Agreement. We see this is inventory, this is about the Article 6 international market mechanism, and this is all about the mitigation, accounting, what kind of information to be submitted in the INDC, but we now call NDC. So INDC stands for Intended National Determined Contribution. Intended just erase after we adopt the Paris Agreement, and we now we just say that NDC, Nationally Determined Contribution. And that's really about the target, objective of each party, okay? So NDC is the fundamental document you need to read. And adaptation, and these are the three MOIs, okay? Important issues for developing country parties. And this is the transparency. So all the information should be reported every 2 years during the implementation period from 2020. And with all the information from the transparency framework and also IPCC report and also UNEP emission scale report, all the scientific knowledge should be delivered into the GST, which will be held every 5 years from 2023. And then maybe we can, we say, trigger the compliance mechanism if there's some, I don't know, parties who actually have not achieved their goals. But it's quite unclear, and I heard from the international lawyers that it's very difficult to actually make some penalties for those parties who did not actually implement or achieve their target. So you have to keep that in mind. And this is the, you just saw the objective of the UNFCCC at the beginning of my slide, right? And this is the purpose, Article 2 in the Paris Agreement. And we have quite slightly different wording for objective of the Paris Agreement, and this is the important part. And you will see, you can see many media reporters, they just make a reference to this 2 degrees Celsius target or 1.5 degrees Celsius target. Okay, and I just move on to, and Article 3 is about NDC, and clearly says that NDC includes Article 4, 7, 9, 4 mitigation, 7 adaptation, 9, 10, 11 MY, finance, technology, capacity building, and 13 transparency. So it says NDC covers all the 6 components of the Paris Agreement. And why this was included? In 2015, when I participated in the Paris Agreement negotiation, actually there was no Article 3. There were only Article 4. And there's like a different interpretation about this Article 4. Now we understand this as just mitigation. But at that time, because it talked about NDC, but NDC includes all 6 aspects, right? But developed country parties, they started denying the notion of this inclusion of these 6 aspects of the Paris Agreement. And they just make an argument that this is just about the mitigation. And developing country parties, including China, they were really like angry about this argument for the developed country parties. So in the second week, we generally have 2 weeks of time for the COP meeting. But first week is a working level, just like me, participating in the negotiation. But during the second week, high level. So Obama and others like that. Because in Paris, we have all the leaders there. And during that second negotiation, that's why Article 3 just included at the very last meeting, before we just adopted the Paris Agreement. What does this mean? We actually consider the argument from the developing country side. So we can clearly see, and this covers all aspects. Let's move on. So Article 4 is really about the mitigation, and the important concept is, although, do you have some understanding about, understanding about difference between shall, should, may, will, that kind of thing? Yeah. So shall, so some international lawyers, they have very specific, interpretations about these, words, but in an easy way, just shall is obligatory. This is really obligation, must thing, but the others are just voluntary. Okay, just understand them like that. But although we have will here, successive NDC, so every NDC should have this progression. They should follow this progression principle. So I mentioned that Korea has 35% reduction target. That means every 5 years we need to submit our NDC. 5 years is not that long time. So every 5 years we need to, have more emission, like a 38%, 39%, more than 40%. That's why these days, by the 2050, like in September, last September, we have this UN Climate Summit in New York. So our President Moon Jae went there, and many, excluding our country, but many parties, more than 70 parties, just made a pledge that they are going to make a carbon neutral by the end of 2050, which is very aggressive target. But that was just political pledge, not INDC under the Paris Agreement. And let's see, just I'll just move on because I really want to have some Q&As. So market, you can just read the original Paris Agreement text, but just with this slides, maybe you can see where if you can find the red, parts, red phrases, that you need to take maybe some cautious approach when you read the Paris Agreement. So please keep in mind the red part is quite important. Okay, this has some implications. Okay, so I'll just skip the very detailed part. Transparency and Article 14. So for every 5 years, we are going to have this thing. Okay, so please download this Katowice rulebook if you have more time, but it's very specific, very difficult to understand. So that's why I just want you to stick to the Paris Agreement first, okay? And move forward. I think this is more important. So from 1992 to 2020, because we actually failed to make an agreement at Copenhagen. But at Copenhagen, many parties made a pledge about the 2020 greenhouse gas reduction target. And I think it is recognized that only developed country parties need to achieve their 2020 reduction target. We call it pre-2020 goal. And other like 150 parties, they don't have obligation to actually reduce greenhouse gases under the Union C. So when you have negotiation, it's very important that the negotiators from developing countries side make sort of like an argument whether you are going to achieve the 2020 target or not. And that's going to be a very big pressure. If you check some greenhouse gas emissions level, current level, like a 19, you can find 2019, you can find the data for 2017. So only 3 years left to achieve the 2020 target, right? So if you are from developed countries side, you need to check your emissions level, current emission level, and also your country's 2020 greenhouse gas reduction target, and you need to check whether you can achieve, it's quite achievable or not from this point of time. This is 2019, right? So if you think you cannot, you need to maybe prepare some of the defense, strategies to make it, to defend from the argument of the developing country side. Because negotiators from the developing countries, make a lot of argument. You need to reduce more before 2020. So this is famous website for climate change. You can access the Climate Action Tracker, and you will see some very good analysis of key parties, like around 40 countries in the world. So they actually analyze whether the country can achieve the 2020 target or 2030 target based on the INDC goal or other information. So it's a very good way to understand the situation of each country, key countries. So based on their analysis, it's very difficult to achieve the 2 degrees Celsius target. According to our NDC submitted so far, we can only achieve 3.3 degrees Celsius target. So this is just for your information. And this is another report from the UNAP emissions gap report. This is like an annual basis report. So you can also find maybe in a few weeks you will have the 2019 emissions gap report. And to achieve this 2 degree or 1.5 degree Celsius target, the world as a whole, we need to reduce maybe 30 gigaton or 50 gigaton from this point. And currently we emit around 50-something gigaton at world level, international level. So we need to really go down. And this is really, really aggressive. And this is really about your future. And I just want to skip this because this is very technical, important thing, but let's. Okay, so until Katowice, when we have this Paris rulebook by the end of 2018, I just drew up this table and presented it in one of the meetings in Paris. By the end of next year, parties are invited to update the previous INDC or NDC, okay? So because there's some pressure from the international society, and if you want to actually lead this climate change response efforts, the parties are welcome to actually update. That means increase the ambition of the greenhouse gas reduction goal, or maybe financial support goal. And Korea is preparing to update our NDC. You will maybe see our updated NDC second half of next year. And by 2023, GST, the Ban Ki-moon's favorite article, we are going to have GST. So just like a unit emissions gap report diagram, we will see where we are, okay? And then many parties will feel some pressure if there's like a more serious like Greta Thunberg, and then leaders of one country may feel more pressure to increase the ambition of their own INDC, right? So they are invited actually to submit their the subsequent NDC by the end of, beginning of the 2025. So every 5 years, 2020, so including the Paris Agreement, so 2015, 2020, 2025, 2030. Every 5 years, parties are asked to submit. This is shell requirement. Submit their target. Okay? This is a really important thing. So it's going to be big pressure, and the carbon price will, really, rise sharply. That's my understanding. If we really want to achieve our target, like 1.5 or 2 degrees Celsius goal. And this is how parties will report their information about the inventory level. And ask us, this is key information, right? To check whether they achieve the target or not. And every 2 years, they need to report. 1 year preparation of the reporting, and 1 year they receive the international technical expert review from independent experts from the world. So again, we have another round of global stocktake GST. So this is why we call this Paris Agreement system is a ratchet mechanism. So we submit our target, but we have this GST and see where we are, and then we have more homework, more pressure, and then we submit second round or subsequent emission target. Okay, so this is the sort of like a very basic cycle of this Paris Agreement. And this is my last slide. So I don't know why you actually decided to participate in this climate change negotiation. Although this is model negotiations, but why are you doing this? This is my favorite movie. And there's just one, saying from the movie. Why are you doing this? Think about it. Yeah, this is just my last message I want to deliver. And thank you very much for listening.